There are obviously differences between that Egypt Air crash and what has happened now with this crash, but there are a lot of similarities, aren't there?
Yeah, it is eerily similar in the respect of the pilot stepping out, the co-pilot, in this instance, being able to successfully lock the pilot out. But it really gets to what some of your previous guests have been talking about in terms of the motive of why would this fairly young co-pilot want to do that. And so there's all types of steps that the French and German authorities, along with the entire U.S. intelligence and law enforcement and Homeland Security apparatus, is working on to try to help flesh out that information about what motivated this person. Was it something that he simply was mentally ill? Obviously, the CEO of Lufthansa indicates everything appeared to be fine. Coworkers say the same thing. So the question is, at what point did he form the intent to commit this act? And one of the things they have to look at, in addition to all the physical searches of his media, of his apartment, all those things, is did he actually try to gain employment with Germanwings through Lufthansa in order to do something, and was simply waiting either for a signal from a terrorist group or somebody else, or was it something that was simply triggered by something that just happened recently? Was there somebody on the plane that he'd had an argument with? Was there a jilted girlfriend, or was he jilted? So all number of things. So they need to look at the passenger manifest to see if there's any causal connections that might help identify what that motive may be.
Should there be a rule worldwide, the entire aviation industry, a rule requiring that there always be at least 2 crew members inside a cockpit? In other words, if one of the pilots has to go out, there's somebody else should go in, a flight attendant, so there's never a case where there's only one person in the cockpit?
Yeah, and of course that's what we do here in the U.S., and there is the ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, publishes standards and recommended practices, SARPs they call them, that cover that, but it is a recommended practice, it's not a required practice. So between FAA and TSA, we actually also have it as a recommended practice, but all the U.S. carriers and those coming into the U.S. follow that procedure, that if a flight crew member comes out, another one has to be in there, primarily from a medical emergency perspective, right. But obviously this is also of concern now.